What's up everyone, OJ here. Welcome back to another First Impressions video. Today, we're talking about the Mario Strikers Battle League First Kick online gameplay impressions. I'm going to go over what I think about the gameplay, how it compares to previous Mario Strikers games, and just my thoughts going forward as we head into the launch of the game, and of course my full review later down the line. So first and foremost, I think that it was pretty cool that they had this first kick test demo online gameplay. We can kind of feel things out. They can probably test it, make sure everything is working properly, and there's definitely varying levels of success when it comes down to it. Now, when I played with randoms last night, when I played the game, it was pretty laggy because people are definitely using McDonald's Wi-Fi or budget connections. But when you play with someone that you know has a decent connection, or at least people that have decent connections, it was a lot better. I played with my friend from the channel Elite Ninja, Mr. TH3, and we did really well. So once he got in, I opened up a room, he got in, and we even used the Nintendo Switch Online voice chat app, and it was solid. It was okay. Definitely probably not the best way. Discord's a bit better, or if they had it, it was actually native built into the system, maybe, but it actually works on there. So for those who want to use it, you can use it, start up there. And as soon as you boot up the game, it'll open up something like the app will pop up. So that is there for those who want that functionality. Joining up with your friends is pretty easy as well. Definitely want to see if they implement like an invite system to it overall once the full game comes out. But for right now, wasn't too hard getting into the matches and playing, whether you're doing a random match or if you're playing with a friend. So let's go ahead and get into the mechanics of this game and just overall how I feel about it. So this game almost feels like a fighting game at times. There's so much in-depth and technical things that you can do. The inputs, you can cancel your tackles, you can kind of dodge, roll, you can do all sorts of stuff, but everything feels really good. Like, I love the shot mechanics where you can hold down the A button and charge up your shot. You can kind of tilt and corner your shots in to get goals. I mean, it really means until it hits double zeros on there, the game isn't over, because there's all sorts of items and things popping up and stuff happening. It's absolutely mayhem on the field. Like, when you play the tutorial, you're like, okay, yeah, this is pretty cool. I'll be able to get my slide tackles in, and I'll be able to hit people, and I'll be able to sprint and pass and jump shoot and do all the cool stuff that they teach you. But then once you actually get thrown into the fire, all of that somewhat goes out the window. You're like in a fight or flight type of mode with some of this stuff. So it creates a really cool atmosphere to have this cool, soccer battling type of game. And that's what this game does best. That's what Next Level Games does best. Their controls and the precision and the animation and the graphics, everything in this game just feels good to play. I had a blast with this tech demo and picking out your different characters. There was no gear that was available, so later, once the full game comes out, you will be able to have gear to where you can equip and change the stats. But for right now, the base stats of the characters, it's really strategic. Picking, you want to have some defenders that can really, take the hits and also dish out the punishment. You want to have some people that are really good with some speed so you can get to the ball faster or even evade items and different things. And then you also want to make sure that you have somebody that can really shoot and do well on goal. Rosalina, for example, was one of our big keys to victory in many of the matches Mr. TH3 and myself did. Her shooting's very good. You can kind of curve the ball or bend it into the different corners and have some cheese here and there. But even like the super strike item and stuff like that is also very important. So item play, along with who you pick in there and how you do it and how accurate you are. One missed slide tackle can be the whole difference between winning and losing, or even giving somebody the ability to get a 2-point, supercharged type of goal on the opponent or on who you're playing against. So all of it is very, very fun. But I do love the arenas as well. It feels like it's the perfect size and balance and form for is exactly what it would be for that size. It's not too big, not too small with it, and the arenas feel pretty good. But it does sometimes feel like Boom Boom does throw at times for your team. Sometimes he's doing really well for your team, and then the other team, Boom Boom's getting destroyed. But then sometimes it's the other way around. I mean, heck, one time he even scored a goal, a self goal, like when me and TH3 were playing, and we had a comeback victory because of it. So it's very interesting to see the AI with Boom Boom play and how that's going to be the difference sometimes between winning and losing. But make no mistake, you still have to bend the shots in. You still have to be there for the rebounds, because sometimes Boom Boom gets knocked down. And once he gets knocked down, the goal is open. If you have somebody there ready for the rebound, you can kick it back in as long as, you get there fast enough. So I love the strategy. I love the controls. I love the gameplay. I love the mechanics. It all feels really fun to play, honestly. And it feels like there's sufficient amount of characters, depth, and strategy. Now, I do want to talk a little bit about some of the things that are a little bit awkward in the game, at least at first. I know like online play with randoms is definitely a toss-up, whether you're going to get a good game or not. I think that they have some form of rollback implemented, because I'm sure that there was times when I was playing with TH3 and the other people and they were in different parts. There was probably some times where it would have lagged in other games that Nintendo has done previously. So I think that Next Level Games did an admirable job for what was given, because there is some input delay with some connections, but it never really feels too choppy. Sometimes it looks like it's a little, going a bit slower, but it never gets too choppy. It does feel like it's all right most of the time. So I think that they have some time to kind of fine tune it and tweak it as they get information and feedback. And I feel that going forward, it can even be better when it comes to optimal matchmaking and making sure everything runs even smoother in the final release of the game. So it was a good idea to do this first kick test demo, because if you control it to like 1 hour and you get everybody playing there, it's a stress test. You're going to have so many people on and you're going to see exactly what works and what doesn't work. So I think that's why it's a good idea to do it just, hey, for this 1 hour or these hour blocks, and let's see with everybody on there, how does everything hold up? Can you get into matches fast? Can you not? And for the most part, it's pretty quick with matchmaking. It doesn't take too long to get into matches. It'll pair you up with people that are either right there probably playing together, or just two random people, or people that have already connected together beforehand in a room, then headed into it. So I think that it works well for what they've done so far. Now, I'm not a Super Mario Strikers expert, so I will be honest and admit that. I've played the GameCube game, I've played the Wii game. My friend TH3 that I was playing with, who loves these games, been playing them for years now at this point, he stated that the Wii version felt maybe a little bit better to play. Now, in my gameplay with the Wii version, because I remember it quite a bit, I didn't really feel that the Wii version was that great. So I think that based off of what you like, what you don't like, you might consider the GameCube version better, or the Wii version better, or you might love the Switch version. I think it's all based on how you feel about the games and what they've done in there. There's certain items that are in the other games that aren't in this game. There's certain features and aspects and attributes that are different between all three games, because they are multitude of years apart. The last one was like, what, 15 years ago, right? Some of you guys have barely lived that long. And then the one before that on the GameCube was even further ago, right? Almost 20 years ago or something. So it's been quite some time. So people's memories are based on what you feel was good or not. It all just depends. I mean, is this game going to be worth it with what they've shown off so far? Based on my gameplay, I think so. I think that it's a ton of fun. The online play works well enough, especially if you're playing with someone who does have a good connection. I think that there's a lot of strategy, especially when items go flying, being able to dodge out of the way and just being able to time your shots and curve your shots. I think it works really well for what Next Level Games is trying to do here. And I'm looking forward to seeing exactly what else to the mix that they add in. Now, another thing that I think that they can definitely improve just a bit is some of the passing. I know like the buffer system that they have in the game, it was a little bit off for me, but maybe that's just me not being able to kind of control it as well as I would have liked in the game. And there was also another thing that I noticed too, like with the manual versus the auto control method. Definitely the auto works well, especially online where maybe an input isn't quite as fast as you would want or anything. So there's little tweaks that you can do here and there, which could maybe improve your experience or not based on how you like to play. But overall, so far, so good. And I think that the club aspect of this game, that's going to be the crown jewel of this game. That is going to be the biggest thing, and what makes people get into this game and enjoy it and have fun is the online aspect, because it is just a blast. I played it for a whole hour, me and TH3 just blasting through different opponents and rematching and just having fun and having our strategy and working together. This is going to be a competitive atmosphere where people can go to play for fun or play seriously in these clubs. I think that they have a very, very good theme or gimmick for this game with having those online clubs and the rankings and everything, because I think it's going to get extremely competitive considering all the different strategy and mechanics in this game. It was a good idea for them to focus on that aspect, because that's where this game shines. Maybe we haven't seen too much with some of the single player stuff. It might be light in those areas, but I do love what they've done with the online aspect, because I think that's what makes this game tick. That's what makes this game go, because I played for an hour and it felt like legitimately 10 minutes. I mean, we blasted through so many games and had so much fun kind of adjusting what we didn't do right when we lost and saying, okay, let's keep on doing like what we're doing right. You know, hey, let's get into position. I love the camaraderie of it. It really is fun and enlightening to play with your friends and kind of get better and better as you go along and pass the ball and say, hey, we're going to try this strategy. You know, have somebody that's going to use the item, someone that's going to fall back and kind of make sure that the defense is good. I mean, there's so many different ways that you can get this done to have a very enjoyable experience, man. So I'm excited for the full release. I think that this might be, or potentially is, the best Mario sports game that I've played personally. And I've played pretty much all of them, and I think I might like this one the most because of the online aspect, because of how well it can work, and because of what we're seeing with the clubs and the online. I think that's going to be a very fun thing that carries the game for years down the line. But these are my thoughts. What do you guys think about Mario Strikers Battle League, the first kick demo, if you got to play it? What do you think about the gameplay that you've seen so far here? Are you sold, not sold? How you feel about it? It is launching on June 10th. That is next week as of the time that I'm recording this video. And I will have more impressions and of course my review of it once the full game comes out and I can play it for quite a bit of time and test out all the features and the gear and kind of see everything else. But so far, so good. So what do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Please make sure you hit that like button. Subscribe if you're someone new. Click that notification bell, and we will see you for the next video.